continue the session. In previous video we discussed about the basic information intro about the geography. Now in this session we are going to discuss about India and its relief features. Before going into the topic, let's crack the meaning of relief. What is the meaning of relief? High and low elevated areas comes under the relief. What are the low areas? Examples: plains, valleys. This comes under the low areas. What are the high elevated areas? Hills and mountains. So we can see the relief features in India. If you go through, India is having 6 relief features. How many we have? 6 relief features we have. To remember these 6 relief features, just remember a short word: HIP CID. If you remember this HIP CID, you can get 6 relief features. That is HIP, HIP. H, Himalayas. I, Indo-Gangetic Plain. P, Peninsular Plateau. C, Coastal Plains. I, Islands. D, Desert. So these are the 6 relief features. Once observe on this map, Himalayas we have Indo-Gangetic Plain, Peninsular Plateau, Coastal Plains, Islands and Desert. So these are the 6 relief features we have. Now let's discuss each and every relief feature of India. So first we are going to discuss about the Himalayas. Himalayas are playing a vital role in the India's climatic conditions. Why? Because it is located in the north part of India and it is acting as a barrier to stop the cold winds which are coming from the Central Asia. If that Himalayas are not there, what happens? That India can't be good in agriculture. Because of that cold winds, it may become a cold desert also. So Himalayas are playing a vital role in the climatic conditions of the India. Okay, now let's discuss about Himalayas. The name Himalayas means abode or house of snow. So it is completely filled with snow. Every day it is completely filled with the snow. The Himalayas are the highest and the longest of enfolded mountains of the world. The immense mountain range began between the 40 and 50 million years ago. How many years ago it formed? 40 to 50 million years ago, and it formed because of Indian plate collide with the Eurasian plate. During that time, the sediments in the Tethys Sea uplifted and it is formed as a Himalayas. Those are all enfolded mountains. Now, Himalayas means nothing but it is completely filled with snow. Himalayas. In Sanskrit word Hima means snow. Next, how Himalayas are formed? The two large land masses of India and Eurasia, driven by plate movement, collide as a result of sediments accumulated in the Tethys Sea brought by the rivers, were compressed, squeezed and series of folds were formed. One behind other give birth to the folded mountains of Himalayas. If you observe in this picture, you will clearly understand the formation of Himalayas. So see, these are the Himalayas. When Indian plate collide with the Eurasian plate, these Himalayas are formed. So and Tethys Sea is, we are telling that Tethys Sea is the origin for the formation of Himalayas. Okay, that's why in some areas these Himalayas is called as Sagar Mata. Why? Because it is the origin from the sea. That's why those called as a Sagar Mata. Next, coming to the slide. Recent studies also shows that India is still moving towards north side at the rate of 5 centimeters per year. That means every year Indian plate is moving 5 centimeters towards the north side. That is a slight movement. We can't feel that movement, but it is a very slight movement and it is moving 5 centimeters per year. So crashing into the rest of Asia. Because of that reason, what happens? The height of the Himalayas may increase. Next one, division of Himalayas. These Himalayas are divided into different categories. So see once, Shivaliks or outer Himalayas. Shivalik or outer Himalayas, lesser Himalayas or middle Himalayas, greater Himalayas, trans Himalayans or Tibetan Himalayas, Eastern Himalayas or Purvanchal. So these are the divisions of Himalayas. So just remember. Now we discussed these divisions now. Greater Himalayas. Greater Himalayas, also known as Inner Himalayas or Central Himalayas or Himadri. So you have to remember the names. Greater Himalayas also called as Inner Himalayas, Central or Himadri. What is the elevation? What is the height of that Greater Himalayas? 6,100 meters from the above sea level, and an average width of 25 kilometers. Width is always in kilometers and the height is always in meters. You have to remember that one. So height is in meters and the width is in kilometers. Next, the Himalayas contains the third largest deposit of ice and snow in the world after Antarctica and the Arctic. You know that Antarctica is a continent completely filled with the snow, and Arctic is also a north completely is filled with snow. After these two places, the third largest ice contained place is Himalayas. Next, the Greater Himalayas are home to some of the tallest peaks in the world. So tallest peaks we can see in this Himalayas. And another thing I want to tell this, because of this largest deposit of ice, the continuous flow of rivers are there, the Himalayan rivers. We have 3 Himalayan rivers in India: Ganga, Brahmaputra and Indus. These 3 are originating from the Himalayas, from these large deposits of snow. Because of this reason, those all are in a perennial nature, continuous flow in the nature. Now, what are the highest peaks we can see in this Greater Himalayas? So see, we can see the world's tallest peaks in Greater Himalayas. Examples: Mount Everest we can see, it is the largest peak in the world, highest peak in the world, and Kanchenjunga, Karakoram, etc. These are the highest peaks we can see in these Greater Himalayan divisions. Now, Mount Everest is the highest peak in the world with a height of 8,848 meters. So it's a very height, 8,848 meters. It is located in Nepal. So many members are trying to be on the top of Mount Everest. Some people are failed and some people are succeeded. The first person who succeeded in climbing the Mount Everest is Tenzing Norgay. And see, Mount Everest is located in Nepal, and in Nepal Mount Everest is called as Sagarmatha, as it is the origin of Tethys Sea. Because of that reason they are calling it as a Tethys Sea. Sagarmatha. Now, Mount Everest was the first located by George Everest, then Surveyor General of India, in the year 1848, and in 1852 it was established as the highest peak of the world by the Great Trigonometrical Survey of India. So after the location George Everest, so that Mount Everest got the name after the person George Everest. Before that they call that Everest as a Peak 15, and in different names they call. But after the located by the George Everest, and he calculated the height of the Mount Everest. After that, that mountain got the name of the Mount Everest. Next, coming to the slide, Lesser Himalayas. In between the Shivaliks and in the south and the Greater Himalayas in the north. So these Lesser Himalayas we can see between the Greater Himalayas and the Outer Himalayas. These Lesser Himalayas are also known as Middle Himalayas or Himachal. These Lesser Himalayas are also known as Middle Himalayas or Himachal. Next, runs almost parallel to both the ranges. It is also called as Himachal or Lower Himalayas. Now see, Lower Himalayas ranges are 60 to 80 kilometers wide and about 2400 kilometers in length, I am telling. So length of this Himalayas are 2400 kilometers. What is the elevation of Lesser Himalayas? It varies between 3500 to 4500 meters from the above sea level. Greater Himalayas is 6100 and this Himalayas, Lesser Himalayas are 3500 to 4500 meters from the sea level. Now The middle Himalayan ranges are more friendly to the human contact because we can't live in the greater Himalayas because those all are very high from the sea level. So oxygen levels is also very low. So we can't live there. But in lesser Himalayas, those all are friendly to the human contact. Majority of the Himalayan hill resorts like Shimla, Mussoorie, Ranikat, Nainital and Darjeeling, etc. we can see in this lesser Himalayas. So see some important ranges in Himalayas, lesser Himalayas, Peripanjal range in Jammu and Kashmir and Dhauladhar in Himachal Pradesh, Mussoorie ranges, Uttarakhand, Mahabharat in Nepal. So these are the important ranges we can see in lesser Himalayas. Next one, outer Himalayas. Outer Himalayas are also known as Shivaliks, located in between the greater plains and lesser Himalayas. The altitude varies from, that means height varies from 600 to 1500 meters, runs for a distance of 2400 kilometers from Potwar plateau to the Brahmaputra valley. These are the Shivaliks where most population we can see. Next, the southern slope are steep while the northern slopes are gentle. The width of the Shivaliks varies from 50 kilometers in Himachal Pradesh to less than 15 kilometers in Arunachal Pradesh. That means when compared to the greater Himalayas and lesser Himalayas, these Shivaliks are very low height and width also very low. Next, the Shivaliks have different names in different states. That is Jammu Hills in Jammu region, Jammu Hills, and Dafla, Miri, Abor, Mishmi in Arunachal Pradesh. Next, Dung Range, and those all in Uttarakhand. So Shivaliks have different names. Karga Hills in Assam. Next, Trans Himalayas. So after the another division, Trans Himalayas. This Himalayan division we can see in the northmost of Himalayas. That means above the greater Himalayas we can see the Himalayan range immediately north to the greater Himalayan range, also called the Tibetan Himalayas because those all are located in Tibet. Next, the Jaskar, Ladakh, Kailash and Karakoram are the main ranges in Trans Himalaya. So these all are important ranges in the Trans Himalayas. It stretches from the distance about 1000 kilometers in the east-west direction. So what is the average elevation of Trans Himalayas? Or 3000 meters from the above sea level. So this is the brief information about the Trans Himalayas. Next, the northernmost range of the Trans-Himalayan range in India is the Great Karakoram range, also known as Krishnagiri range. This you have to remember. What is the important range on the northmost range of the Trans-Himalayas? That is Karakoram range, also known as Krishnagiri range. This Karakoram range extends eastwards from the Pamir from about 800 kilometers. So that Karakoram you have to remember. And another thing, some of the peaks are more than 8000 meters above the sea level. Even K2 also we can see here. Okay. Now coming to the next slide, Eastern Hills, the last division of the Himalayas, Eastern Hills. These are also known as Purvanchal. Eastern Hills or Purvanchal are the southward extension of Himalayas. Next, Purvanchal Hills are convex to the west. They run along the Indian-Myanmar border, extending from the Arunachal Pradesh in the north to Mizoram in the south. So if you go through it's took as a hairpin bend, like if you observe in the map. Next, once observe the Himalayan system. This is the Tibetan plateau and we can see here the Trans Himalayas, after that Greater Himalayas, and after that Lesser Himalayas, and after that Shivaliks or Outer Himalayas, and here we can see that Purvanchal. So this is the total Himalayan system.